Nice launch check. Also Leute, gute Information. Wenn ihr so denkt, dass der Stream dann anfängt zu laggen, sagt mich einfach Bescheid, dass ich dann schnell schauen kann, was dann dem Problem ist. Wenn ich einfach weitermacht und ihr mich nicht zu sagen, dass der Stream laggt, dann kann es sein, dass ihr nicht so mit dem Audio oder so sein. Aber ja, ich werde die ganze Zeit dran sein, zum Schauen, dass es nicht so leckt. Und ja, wir legen jetzt gleich los und hoffentlich wird es Spaß machen. Dann ja, Leute, ich wünsche euch viel Spaß.
The pups were heading back from a failed mission. A very failed mission. All 6 vehicles were swerving, each pup unable to focus on the road. No one in Adventure Bay would be able to ponder what had just happened. Marshall was bringing in the bad news in the back of his EMT-converted truck. Chase was leading the escort, then Marshall, and the other pups trailed behind. They were at a slow pace, which really signaled the depression. Everyone in Adventure Bay knew something was wrong when none of the pups stopped by to say hi. They knew something was worse when they realized all 6 pups were deployed, but Ryder wasn't leading on his ATV. Ryder wasn't there at all. The 6 vehicles pulled up to the lookout in silence. Marshall gradually got out of his truck and opened up the doors in the back of the ambulance. "I can't handle the sight," Sky said. This can't be," Chase said. In the back of Marshall's ambulance sat Ryder's body. Motionless, lifeless. The pups weren't going to be able to survive or live on without him. None of them wanted to. Marshall put his paw on Ryder's face. There was no body heat being generated. It was inevitable. All the pups collapsed and broke down. "I always thought he was a modal," Zuma mourned. "It's not right. He didn't deserve this. Why couldn't it have been me?" Ryder had fell to his death. None of the pups could have done anything to help him. The pups worked together to pull Ryder's body out of the ambulance. Once they laid him down, they all gathered around his body to mourn and mourn. They knew their lives were imminently going to end with his. Hours passed, and each pup had fallen asleep from exhaustion from crying too much. It was morning when they had woken up again to Ryder's body. They mourned for an hour longer, then figured they had to go show Adventure Bay what had happened. They worked together to put Ryder's body back into the ambulance, then formed a formation going into Adventure Bay as a sign of respect. Chase led Marshall, who had Rocky and Rubble on each side, tailed by Zuma and Sky. They each had their emergency lights on, however, were going slow. The people in Adventure Base saw this and, not seeing Ryder, they knew something was seriously wrong. Katie knew what was wrong, and followed the pups, who came to a stop in front of Town Hall. Mayor Goodway came out of the building unaware of what was going on. "Hey Paw Patrol. Why are you all sad?" Marshall opened up the rear doors on the ambulance and showed her and Katie Ryder's body. They were both in complete shock. Mayor Goodway's good day turned around. There were a few citizens to witness, then a few turned into a bunch, then a bunch turned into everyone in Adventure Bay gathered around to see Ryder deceased with their own eyes. "He fell, to his death," Chase said. "There was nothing we could have done," Rocky said. Captain Turbot, also having a good day, pulled into the dock to see everyone gathered at Town Hall. From the distance, it looked like a party. "Adventure Bay is having a party without me. This town will no longer be turbotless." Captain Turbot docked his boat and hurried over. "Adventure Bay can't have a party without Captain Turbot." A lot of people thought Captain Turbot was being disrespectful, but the pups knew he had no clue what was going on. "Captain Turbot, it's not what you think," Zuma said. Captain Turbot started to realize something was really wrong. Zuma escorted him to the ambulance. Captain Turbot realized this was the opposite of a party. He had no idea how to react when he saw Ryder's body. His good day was also turned bad. A day passed, and Ryder's funeral was arranged. Marshall pulled up with the casket with Ryder's body in the back of his ambulance. The funeral formation pulled up to the cemetery and the pups got out, and got in the lookout formation while Jake and Captain Turbot pulled the casket out of the ambulance. The pups tried to hold in their tears as well as they could as the ceremony was going on. Sky couldn't hold it in. She broke down and Rocky was there to comfort her. Sky crying caused Marshall, Rubble, and Zuma to break down as well. Chase was used to holding back tears, so he was able to stay in formation. With assistance from Mr. Porter and Mayor Goodway, along with Alex and Katie earning a place, all carried Ryder's casket to the grave. The pups got into the formation that they would be in when they're in the Paw Patroller. Zuma, Rubble, and Sky on one side, and Rocky, Chase, and Marshall on the other. When everyone was sat down, no one expected Mayor Humdinger to show up. Everyone looked back when he walked in. "I heard the boy had died, and I just thought I'd come by and pay my respects." The service for Ryder lasted a long time. Everyone wanted to pay their respects and share stories about when the Paw Patrol had rescued them. Mayor Humdinger even came up. No one really had respect for him. As most of you know, I'm a big rival to Adventure Bay and the Paw Patrol. There's been many times where I have been frustrated from the Paw Patrol ruining my plans. There was some burning hate, but I never would have wished this on the poor boy. Since I never got to say this to you personally, kid, I'll say it now. I'm, sorry for what I have done. Rest well, Ryder. Mayor Humdinger sat back down in the back. The time to lower Ryder into the ground came. Each pup sat in resentment. Not even Chase could hold back the tears when he was lowered down. The service ended, and everyone but the 6 pups left his grave. Before the dirt was filled in, each pup set their pup tags on top of Ryder's casket. They spent that night next to the grave. The next morning, Mayor Goodway had to bring the news to the pups. "I'm afraid that, without the supervision of Ryder, you can't stay at the lookout on your own. Please, Mayor Goodway. Let us stay. We won't cause trouble. If it was up to me, you could. But the law says you have to go to a foster home." "No. Don't make us go. I don't have a choice. I want you to stay." Mayor Goodway walked the pups to the guy who would be taking care of them. "This is Joey, he loves dogs. He'll take good care of you." The pups looked at Joey. He looked nice. "This is the hardest part of my job. I never want to take a couple of pups away from their home. I don't have a choice, though. I promise, from the bottom of my heart, I will take good care of you pups until you're old enough to be on your own and come back. None of the pups wanted to go. They were given the opportunity to go to the lookout and grab what they wanted. They were promised the lookout and all their trucks would be there. None of the pups wanted to live on without Ryder, however. Each pup packed into Joey's Suburban and they were off to a larger city about an hour away.
Hey you, look kinda grim today. Pull through, there will be a brighter day. So hold your head up high and breathe in deep.
I know there's something heavy on your mind. Control is something you will never find. Holding on to something you can carry by your side. When the world came to tear you down,
You stood alone and found that there is love all around you. So smile for the people that need to see you smile. We'll get by, even if it's just for a little while. If you smile.
The pups sat in depression as they headed to where they would live for the next little while. I promise you, pups. Things will get better. Once you're old enough to be able to return home, you can resume your duties in the Paw Patrol, Joey said. Things won't be the same without Ryder, Chase said. Leaving Adventure Bay is just icing on the cake. Ryder's death is what's dragging all of us down, Rocky said. Joey didn't want to make the pups more upset, so he stayed quiet. Zuma and Sky hadn't stopped crying since they had left Adventure Bay. For almost an hour, they were crying into each other's fur. Marshall hadn't taken his face out of Rocky's fur either. Eventually, the Suburban pulled into the driveway of Joey's house, and each pup got out. Here we are. Your temporary home. It's not going to bring Ryder back, Sky said. I know. If I had the power to, I would. Joey and the pups walked into the house. It's a 4-bedroom house, so there has to be 2 in each room. There's one shared bathroom upstairs, but there's one in my room, and one down here. The kitchen is there, there's plenty of dog food and treats, go ahead and take whatever you want. Rubble went right in and found a bag of chips. That's human food, but I guess you can have some. Joey brought the pups upstairs. Go ahead and pick a room. They're all pretty much the same. There can be 3 of you in a room, all 6 of you, or split it evenly. It doesn't matter to me. Rocky and Marshall went into a room, Zuma and Sky went into another, then Chase and Rubble occupied the last. They each unpacked their bags, then set up however they wanted their rooms. That night eventually came. It was a slow night. Not any slower than it's been, however. Are you awake, Rocky? Marshall asked. Yeah, I'm awake. How long do you think we have to be here for? Only until Chase is old enough. Since he's the oldest, he can probably take custody of us once he can live on his own. I don't want to be here, but I don't want to go back to Adventure Bay without Ryder. We'll have to find a way to go around this. Ryder wouldn't want us to suffer forever. Zuma and Sky were having a similar conversation. Things won't be the same. I won't be able to eat twats the same way again, Zuma said. I don't want to live, Sky said. Zuma and Sky cuddled up next to each other. If the 6 of us stay together, we'll be able to manage. Chase was trying to sleep, but Rubble was watching Apollo the super pup. It was the only thing that would make him feel better. Chase couldn't stand the TV going while he was trying to sleep. Rubble, can you go watch that somewhere else? Like where? Rubble got up and joined, maybe with the other pups. I'm not gonna let this be the end, Chase said. Rubble got up and joined Zuma and Sky. Chase had the room to himself. The next day passed, with each pup able to somewhat play again. Joey didn't know what to do with each pup's lack of motivation. The next night came, and Rubble was with Zuma and Sky, and Chase was alone again. I'm not gonna let this be the end, Chase said. There's no way Ryder just fell down that cliff. There has to be more to this. He got out of his bed and started pacing around. What if one of the pups killed him and is masking this flawlessly? What if? Oh, I have to get this out. Chase woke up Rocky and Marshall, and the three of them met in the room with Zuma, Sky, and Rubble. Alright pups, I brought you in here because we're going to find the mystery behind Ryder's death. He fell to his death. There's no doubt of that, Marshall said. I'm not doubting his cause of death. I'm doubting what caused his fall. He didn't just fall on his own. That's not Ryder. No one was up there. Only Sky could have seen anything up there. She didn't see anyone, Rocky said. I wasn't looking where Ryder was. If I was, we could've. Sky broke down. This wasn't Chase's intentions, I'm sorry Sky. I didn't mean to get you to start crying. I just want the guilty party to admit they're wrong. What do you mean by that? Rubble asked. I really hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling one of you are involved, and are masking it really well. Every pup became hurt by that. None of them had anything to do with Ryder's death other than not making sure he was okay. If any of you are guilty, just do us all a favor and fess up. That's all we want. Each pup started scolding Chase. Chase knew immediately his theory was wrong. Alright, none of us are responsible. But that's not good enough for me. I know for a fact Ryder's death wasn't an accident. It's done, Chase. Forget it, Zuma said. It's not done. In fact, it's just begun. We're going to investigate this. None of the pups were following Chase. We have nowhere to start. We have no way to get around, and there's no way Joey will let us go and leave like that. Pups, there's 6 of us. For years, we've made such a good team. 3 of us are capable of driving a truck on the street. I see Joey's Suburban, I see keys to that Suburban downstairs, and Adventure Bay is an hour away. Are you saying steal a car to go investigate something you have no proof of? Rocky asked. If you pups truly miss Ryder and want to know what caused his death and made our lives miserable, you'll join me. I'll go. Ryder meant way too much to all of us, Zuma said. If he's in, I'm in, Sky said. Rocky shook his head in disbelief that he was about to make this idiotic decision. Count me in. I'm just as dedicated as everyone else. Marshall and Rubble didn't want to get in trouble, but they also both wanted to join the pups. Come on, you two. It's do or die, Chase said. I trust you, Chase, I'm going, Rubble said. Wah. I don't want to be the only one left behind. I'm going. Marshall said. Smart choice, pups. Now let's leave Joey an apology note. The pups went downstairs, and Chase left Joey a note. Joey, I'm sorry we're doing this. We can't stand being in mystery about what happened to Ryder. We're heading back to Adventure Bay to investigate Ryder's death. We have no other way to get there, so we have to use your Suburban. Me, Rocky, and Marshall each have Class A driver's licenses, so we are certified to drive a road vehicle. I'm sorry about having to steal your car, but it's the only way. We'll keep in touch, Chase. Alright, pups, let's head out. The pups packed into the Suburban once more, then headed to Adventure Bay in Joey's Suburban. Chase knew his way back. It was still night by the time they got back to Adventure Bay. They had to hurry through and go to the lookout unnoticed so no one would know they escaped and stole a vehicle while they were at it. All the circuit breakers on Lookout were off, and there were automatic lights on it they had to navigate through with no power. They each got their pup packs, all their gear, then found the keys to their trucks. Since they put their tags in with Ryder, they had to use the GPS call feature on each of their trucks to communicate. They parked Joey's Suburban in front of the Lookout, then off-road away from the Lookout. They couldn't go through Adventure Bay and risk getting spotted. The sun was starting to come up as they got to the spot Ryder fell. Joey woke up to check on the pups. Doing that, he discovered every room being empty. Pups? Where are you? He checked everywhere in the house, but they were nowhere to be found. I'm not playing. I'm starting to get worried. If you're here, please come out. He knew they weren't there. He immediately dialed up Mayor Goodway. Hey Joey, it's early, what's going on? Mayor. The pups aren't here. They got out during the night. I don't know where they went. What? You mean the pups ran away? I gotta look for them. I don't know where they could have went. Adventure Bay is too far away. Joey ran outside to see the Suburban gone. He didn't piece it together, because he didn't think about the fact that these pups could drive. My Suburban is gone. What if they got kidnapped? I'm going to send out a code red. We'll search with you. Thanks, Mayor Goodway. Joey ran around, panicked. He eventually found the note Chase left. He read it, and it made a lot of sense. It just made him more worried and a little angered. He was about to call Mayor Goodway, but he was getting a call from her. Joey. Your Suburban is front of the Paw Patrol's Lookout, and all the pups' vehicles are gone. Yep, I just found Chase's note. He's so apologetic about stealing my Suburban, but I don't think he knows I have another car. I'm afraid the pups might do something crazy. I know what their intentions are. I'll be there in an hour. Joey hurried up and headed out to Adventure Bay in his 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. The pups couldn't stand the sight of the place Ryder's life ended, but they had to deal with it. Within seconds, Chase picked up a smell. Ryder wasn't alone. Chase found traces of Ryder's blood. Something happened before he fell down the cliff. Marshall, was there any signs of a wound not from a fall? I didn't do an autopsy. It isn't my job. You're a medical expert, though. Ryder has blood right here. He was hit before he fell. There's someone else's scent here. Pups. Ryder was murdered. All the pups flipped out, completely shocked. Someone really does hate us. Who would want to kill Ryder? He did nothing wrong. We're on a search now. We're going on an investigation, pups. First stop, Foggy Bottom. We're going to interrogate Humdinger first. All the pups packed into their vehicles and headed to Foggy Bottom. The fog was a pain to drive through. They eventually got to the bench Mayor Humdinger always sat at. He had his catastrophe crew with him. We did it, kittens. It was a success. Mayor Humdinger did his evil laugh, but returned to a seemingly normal state, whistling and looking suspicious when he saw the trucks come in. We're here. We have a good reason to believe it was you. Chase said. Oh, I see the Paw Patrol is still in working order, Humdinger said. Alive and well. You evil schemes will never stop us. Zuma said. Oh shoot. I guess that means even without Ryder, you can still figure everything out yourselves, huh? You're evil and heartless. Sky yelled. I wouldn't go there. We know you did it. It was you. Rubble yelled. You have to prove it first. We can bring you in for extra questioning. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say we can't. Chase said. My offense isn't that extreme. It is. You made us suffer. All the pups teamed up to try drag him. You're the one responsible for Ryder's death. You will pay. Mayor Humdinger realized they weren't on him for what he really did. Wait, what? You think I killed Ryder? I never would have done that. The pups stopped tugging. What did you think we were talking about? Oh, other stuff, but that's besides the point. I never would have wished death upon that boy. That's not something I would have done. Chase knew how to read Mayor Humdinger left and right. He knew he was telling the truth. Pups, he's not lying. He's innocent. We have to go back and figure out more of what's going on, Chase admitted. The pups each gave Mayor Humdinger a death stare, but knew they didn't have the right to take him in. They got in their trucks and headed back to Adventure Bay. They figured the news of them escaping would be out. Right as that thought came in, the pups each got a call from Joey on their GPS screens. Pups? Don't scare me like that again. Sorry, Joey, each pup said in unison. Come back to Adventure Bay. I know you pups want to be here and drive your vehicles, but you can't. Joey, we have to. You can't. I'm serious. We have to. We found something suspicious with Ryder's death. He was murdered. Joey was shocked the pups had figured that out. Come back to Adventure Bay and explain it all. The pups were already heading back, so it was convenient. When they got there, Joey immediately approached the pups. You worried the hell out of me. Don't do that. Sorry, Joey. We had to figure out what really happened to Ryder. We have a clue to what happened, Chase said. So how do you know Ryder was murdered? There's someone sent, and his blood was on the top of the mountain. We think he was attacked, then thrown off. It explains why he has gashes rather than shattered insides, Marshall said. Out of nowhere, they heard a roaring V8 coming into town. They all recognized it as Jake's rash Mustang. He blew right by everyone, which was unusual. The pups got in their trucks and followed him. He stopped at the emergency room. Jake. Are you okay? Rocky asked. This is bad. It's horrible. Jake pulled out Everest, who the pups couldn't even tell whether she was alive. He ran in carrying her. Chase marked Jake's illegal park, while the rest of the pups ran in with him. The doctors pulled up a stretcher so Jake didn't have to keep carrying her. What happened? Rocky asked. I heard her scream, then I heard someone battering her. They knew I was coming out because they were out of sight before I got to her. We'll take care of her, sir. We can't promise she'll pull through though, a doctor said. Marshall assisted the doctors with the emergency operations. Jake started to tear up. This can't be happening. Don't leave me, Everest. The other pups were starting to mourn her as well. The doctors tried all they could, but it wasn't working. She went flatline, but the doctors were able to shock her back to life. After an hour of trying to get her stable, the doctors were able to get her to function on her own. Jake. Everest. You're alive. I don't feel like it. The pups all gathered around her. She was having a hard time breathing and talking. Are you okay, Everest? Chase asked. I've been better. Rocky put his paw on Everest's. I'll be here for you. So will everyone else. Thanks, Rocky. Ugh. Everest lost consciousness. All right, pups, we want to stay with Everest, but we have to keep searching. We're going to investigate who did this to Everest. It might lead us to more clues with Ryder. Chase said. Each pup hesitantly left Everest, got in their vehicles, then headed to Jake's mountain. They got to the cabin where Everest was attacked. Chase picked up multiple scents. One was new, and the other was the same scent from Ryder's death site. Pups, someone's after us. It's the same scent that was at Ryder's death site. The pups started freaking out again. Now they knew their lives were in danger. The thing to do is stick together, and never leave a pup behind, Rocky said. That's right. And, where's Marshall? Huh, funny, Rubble said sarcastically. Really, he's not here. Marshall. They all went into panic and looked for Marshall. After a good 30 seconds of panic, Marshall came out of the cabin carrying a rifle. Pups? I found this gun in the cabin. It might be a clue. Everest wasn't shot. That's Jake's hunting rifle. Oh, oops. Marshall put the rifle back, then walked out. We have to track this guy down. I have no idea where to start though, Chase said. Sky looked in the air for vehicle tracks. She found tire tracks that lead away from the crime scene. It hadn't snowed, so there was nothing to cover the tracks. I found tracks from a truck. I'll follow them and see where they go. Good job, Sky. Don't get shot down. The pups followed the tracks from the ground. It seemed they were able to trace it down, but the snow was gradually fading as they went down the elevation. It's getting harder to trace it down. The snow isn't as heavy, Sky said. By the time they got to the bottom, there was no snow left and no way to track down the vehicle. The pups started whimpering at the lost advantage, but Rocky thought of something. Pups? We passed a few cars on the way up. We can go back and look at the tracks left by the vehicle to try to determine what it was, then pull the tapes on our dash cams to see if anything matches. The pups admired Rocky's idea. They went back a few miles, then observed the tracks. It was a large pickup, a dually. They headed back to Adventure Bay and observed Chase's dash cam. There were mainly vans and SUVs going down, but they eventually came across a white Ford F-350. The people in it seemed at unease as the PAW patrol passed. Bingo! Those are our guys. Chase rewound the video a few milliseconds to get the license number. It was a British Columbian plate. We got it, pups. Look for that license number. Chase said, we'll pair up and search for every white 2011 and newer F-350. The pups got in pairs and headed out. 3 F-350s were found, but none had the license number. Pups, they could have put different plates on it. Start pulling over every F-350 you see. 4 F-350s were pulled over by the time Rocky and Marshall came across a parked on with the correct license number. We found the truck. Marshall yelled. Quiet down. Put a tracker on it. Rocky scolded. The truck owners came out because they heard Marshall's voice. Rocky stuck the tracker on just in time. The two had to hide as quickly as possible. However, the owners saw the pups' trucks. Rocky and Marshall realized they were at their base when more people than just the truck owners came out. They're here. Search the place. Both pups started picking up scents. They figured out who the leader was by the scents. He didn't look familiar to either of them. What could he have against us? I have no clue, but we have to move. They came across a phone so they could call Chase. Come on, Chase, pick up. Who's this? Oh, what's going on, pups? We found the truck. Rocky said in a whisper. What's wrong? They know we're here. We have to find a way out. Chase brought the other pups in, all paws on deck. Rocky and Marshall are. No, Chase. They have guns. Oh, then run. Rocky and Marshall had to find a way to dodge the searchlights. It was broad daylight, so it wouldn't hurt much, but it'd mean they're in sight. We're going to have to leave our trucks here, Rocky said. We can't. We'll need them. How else are we going to get out of here? Their main focus is our trucks. If we come within 50 feet, they'll fire on us. We have two options, run into the forest, or steal a car. How are we gonna steal a car? Rocky barked quietly, dimensional cutters and lighter. You know how to hotwire? More or less. They noticed a guard very focused looking through the scope of an AW sniper rifle. Or we could pickpocket some keys. Let's hope this guy has a fast car. Rocky barked, needle nose pliers. Rocky, scared, approached the guard. He hoped that Marshall would be able to use his pupfu if the guard realized he was there. He reached into pocket of the guard and pulled out whatever was in there. Luckily, they were keys. Rocky and Marshall left the room. Rocky wiped the sweat from his head. Thank God. Let's see what this guy has, an Acura. We should be able to make a clean escape. A 2013 Acura TL was sitting outside the other side of the warehouse. The two pups hurried over and got in. It was backed in, so Rocky was able to drive right out. Driving human vehicles is so weird. He drove inconspicuously to the exit, then when the guards could potentially see them, he gunned it. The 305 horsepower, 3.7-liter V6 was really nice right about now. By the time the guards could get to a car, they were long gone. Rocky was having a hard time reaching everything. At least this one's an automatic. It'd suck not being able to reach the clutch. The other pups blew right by them. Rocky activated the Bluetooth on the TL. Chase. Turn back. They're coming. Rocky? What are you in? I couldn't grab the trucks. I stole someone's Acura. What? Alright, we'll catch up. They all got back to Adventure Bay and grouped up. What happened back there? Chase asked. We found the truck, they discovered us, and we had to find a new way out. They had our truck surrounded. Well, we might have some evidence here. Open the trunk. When Rocky opened the trunk, there were a couple of assault rifles in the back. Arms trafficking. Looks like this is an organization rather than a lone guy, Chase observed. Wait a minute. Chase picked up Mayor Humdinger's scent on the weapons. Humdinger lied to us. I can't believe I believed him. What happened? Sky asked. Mayor Humdinger is involved. His scent is on these rifles. The pups, once again, freaked out. We have a... The TL's Bluetooth system was getting a call. The contact ID read Mr. Sanchez. Rocky answered, hello? Very clever. You figured out who killed your mortal master. Who are you, Mr. Sanchez? Well, I'm an arms trafficking boss. I killed that kid because he would be in my way. I didn't think I would have to kill the pups too. That'll come later. For now, I need that car back. I'll make you pups a deal. We'll place the two trucks in a location. You bring the car, leave it, then take your trucks back. We kinda need our trucks, so you have a deal, Marshall said. We're not going to negotiate with a bad guy. Chase said. Well, in that case, I could track you down and kill all 6 of you. Your choice. Chase, you're not the right pup for this, Rocky said. Chase got angered and walked away. I'll make you another deal. If you don't come after us for killing that kid, we'll spare your lives. Nope. Not gonna happen. You'll pay for his death. The Paw Patrol always comes out on top. Suit yourself. If you mess with my business, you'll pay. The car deal still stands. I'll put a location on the car's GPS. Mr. Sanchez hung up. Within a few seconds, a location was set on the GPS. Do you really think he's just gonna let us take the trucks? It might be a trap. Chase said. I agree, it's a big risk, but we need our trucks, Rocky said. We have the keys, so we can go in, leave this car, and get the trucks as quickly as possible, Marshall said. Are your trucks worth dying for? Rubble asked. We won't die. We'll be in and out, Rocky said. Chase didn't like this idea. Even if they were fast enough, they could still be chased down. If Marshall slips, it'll slow down the retrieval time by a lot. I'll go in with Rocky to get the trucks, Chase said.
But. Marshall wanted to get the trucks.
We can't risk you tripping and getting caught. You want to avenge Ryder, right? Sky asked. If you die you can't. Marshall had to give in and let Chase take over. First let's take the guns out of the trunk. We can use them as evidence against Humdinger, Chase said. They did that, then they headed out. Marshall was driving Chase's truck. Chase briefed everything. Zuma, Sky, stay a good distance away and patrol the area. Marshall, Rubble, you stay right at the entrance and make sure no one tries to come in and attack us. Rocky, you know the drill, be as fast as you can. Green means go. Rocky pulled into the small gravel lot as fast as he could. Rubble and Marshall quickly blocked the road with their trucks and kept guard. Rocky and Chase both got out of the car the minute Rocky put it in park. Rocky rushed out of the car and jumped into his truck, and Chase slid across the hood of the TL and jumped into Marshall's truck. They were scared the trucks wouldn't start, but they did. As soon as the truck started, they were out of there. Chase was smart to be on top of everything and get out of there. A few guys were about to jump out of the forest and start shooting. If they took any longer, it would have happened. Chase. Everyone. We have company. Sky said. Are they chasing us? Rocky asked. Yeah. And they're not in anything slow. As they reached 100 miles per hour, they saw 3 Z-07 Corvettes come into view. Are you serious? Chase was in disbelief. They started to receive gunfire. The pups panicked, but kept going. Marshall. You're driving my truck. Deploy the road spikes. How? There's a button on right next to the shifter. Marshall pushed the ejection seat instead. He went flying. Sky caught him with the harness. Rocky remembered he had a box of nails in the back of his truck. He opened up the hatch and the nails spilled out. That stopped the Corvettes coming after them. Are we safe? Chase asked. I think so. Let's head back fast. They all got calls on their GPS screens. It was Mr. Sanchez. Very clever. You knew we'd come after you. I guess you're too clever to take the time to kill. All we wanted was our trucks. We gave you the car, I don't know why you have a problem with that. It's not even my car. I only cared about the guns in the trunk. I guess I'll stick to my word. Don't get in my way, and you can keep your lives. Mr. Sanchez hung up. Chase got worried. We took the guns out of the trunk of that car. I think he's still gonna. Mr. Sanchez called again. You took the guns. That does it, we're hunting you down. You think we're scared? Chase questioned. All the other pups looked scared. You're not. I was able to kill the boy, I was able to kill that snow pup. I believe I can kill you all too. Hate to ruin your mood, but Everest pulled through. Her owner was right there. We will win, so don't waste your energy. Chase hung up this time. All right, we're heading back to Foggy Bottom. Humdinger lied to us. We're going to interrogate him and get more information. All the pups headed to Foggy Bottom and found Mayor Humdinger. All the pups circled around him. What do you pups want now? You're involved with Ryder's death. We know you are. Now you're going to the interrogation room. Chase yelled. Whoa. I already told you. I wasn't involved. I wouldn't have done to Ryder. Why does everything point to me? All the pups teamed up and dragged Mayor Humdinger to the ground. Chase got on top of Mayor Humdinger and got right in his face. There's a gun dealer that killed Ryder. That particular gun dealer happened to have a supply with your scent on it. You gave him a supply of guns to kill Ryder as a trade. Mayor Humdinger thought about that shipment of guns he was forced to smuggle. That's what he had originally hid from the pups. Wait, what? If you let me up, I'll explain everything. The pups let off and Mayor Humdinger sat back onto his bench. So, there's a gun supplier not too far from here. There's also a gun dealer not too far from here either. That gun dealer came up to me and offered me $40,000 to smuggle a crate full of firearms from the supplier to his warehouse, and I had no idea that was the one that would kill Ryder. We're going to find all the clues behind this, so tell the truth now. Rubble said. Alright, I should have told you pups earlier. After I delivered the order, he kinda asked about nearby obstacles, people that might get in his way, and I kinda mentioned the Paw Patrol. I had no idea he was going to do such a thing. I'm sorry. Chase started yelling at Mayor Humdinger for not telling them earlier. Sky started crying, causing 3 pups to cry. 3 pups crying caused Mayor Humdinger to start crying. Mayor Humdinger crying turned into everyone but Chase crying. I'm sorry. I had no idea it would come to this. If I would have known, I wouldn't have said it. I didn't know he would kill Ryder, I didn't know you pups would suffer. Why didn't you tell us earlier? Chase asked. He said that if I told anyone about his whereabouts, he'd come after me. I was scared. The pup sat with Mayor Humdinger. I always saw you as a heartless monster, Sky said, but after seeing your remorse, I realize you do have a heart. Just not a brain, Zuma added. The least you can do for us is tell us where this supplier is, Rocky said. Well, when you go up to the building, proceed with caution. They'll be armed. If you head north on the highway, there'll be an unmarked exit. That unmarked road will take you right to the supplier. Thanks, Mayor Humdinger. Pups, you all know where to go. The pups wiped their tears and got in their vehicles again. They headed north on the local highway, then found the exit. Sky, try to find the supplier from the air. Right as Sky started looking, she got a radio transmission, most likely from the supplier warehouse. Attention civilian helicopter, you are in a no-fly zone. Divert your course, or we'll be forced to shoot you down. Wait. No. I'm just flying through with my friends. The person over the radio wasn't expecting Sky's high-pitched voice. You're just a kid. What are you doing flying a helicopter? I'm a pup actually. I'm on a serious mission. A mission that involves your supplier warehouse. We need permission to approach. How do you? Never mind. Permission granted, but try anything and we will open fire. Chase, we can approach. Just go up with caution. The pups slowly approached the warehouse. A few guards armed with M4s came up to them. What's your intentions? The first guard asked. We want to know some information about a dealer you supply. Is there any chance we can speak to a boss or something? Chase explained. Who's the dealer? Mr. Sanchez. That's the only thing we know him by. Alright, proceed through, we'll escort you. There was a Pontiac G8 with amber overhead lights that escorted the pups through. The place was the size of a large college campus, but a lot scarier. They eventually came up to a building, and each pup was commanded to park in a 1-by-1 formation. When Sky landed, they had to push the helicopter into the formation. The pups were escorted on foot to the boss of the supplier. They expected a guy a lot like Mr. Sanchez, big, bulky and gray-haired. This guy looked a little bit like Fred Savage. So I heard you pups need some info on a dealer. Mr. Sanchez killed our human. We're trying to figure out how to take this guy down, because we're also in danger, Chase said. You pups look familiar. Do I know you from somewhere? Have you heard of the Paw Patrol in Adventure Bay? That's us? Wait, really? I heard about you. I'll help you out here. What do you need? We need to figure out how to take him down. And, is there any chance we can get some guns? He is a bit troublesome. I wouldn't just go in and kill him. He's a lot more powerful than you think. And when it comes to getting guns, I only sell guns to suppliers. If I give them away to civilians, they'll be traced to me a lot easier. How many dealers do you sell to? Legal or illegal? I'm not sure if any legal gun dealer will sell a bunch of guns to a couple of pups. There's only one other arms dealer I supply to in this part of Canada. It's about an hour south. I'm not willing to help you take down Mr. Sanchez myself, because it'll make a big impact on my sales and he'll come after me. I will tell you this. Once Mr. Sanchez is dead, you don't have to worry about his guys staying around. They don't like him either. Once he's out, you all are safe. Thanks for your help, Mr. Savage. Fred Savage. Wait, that is Fred Savage. What's he doing supplying guns to dealers in Canada? It's besides the point. The pups were escorted to the freeway and headed back to Adventure Bay. It's 3 a.m, Chase said. We got a lot done, so we can't complain. I'm going to bed when we get back, Rubble said. All the pups agreed. Once they got back, they headed straight to the lookout. They switched on all the circuit breakers so they could get power. They figured Joey was already asleep. They each slept about 8 hours and got up around 11. They knew they had to get going. They had information, and they had to execute the plan. They got back on the freeway and headed to the dealer Fred Savage had told them about. Same deal here, pups, don't just pull up, proceed with caution. When they pulled up, these guys seemed a bit friendlier than all the other guards. The guards approached with their weapons concealed rather than being out for intimidation. Are you pups lost? No, we just have a big problem. We need some help from you guys. Is there any chance we can talk to your leader? Chase asked. I'll go talk to him and see what I can do. The guard went into a building to talk to the leader. There were other guards standing around that didn't seem at unease by their presence. The fact that these guards seemed unfazed gave the pups 2 thoughts. Either something really bad was about to happen, or this dealer was very unorganized. The guard and a big dude that was probably 6 feet 7 inches and weighed 300 pounds came out. This dude looked like JJ Watt. I heard you pups needed my expertise in the arms dealing industry. All the pups trembled in this dude's presence. He was massive. Yeah. We need to take out another dealer. We were wondering what the prices for your weapons are. Well, the fact that you're a bunch of pups doesn't seem too promising. It's almost jailbait for me. We're highly trained actually. Have you ever heard of the Paw Patrol? The what patrol? We have no money, Rocky said. Is there any way we can borrow some guns and ammo, then bring them back for a reduced price, or do something as return? Chase asked. I don't think you have a clue how this business works. I'm in it to make money. I don't really care about the welfare of a couple of pups. Please. We've been suffering for the last week. Sky pleaded. Our lives are in danger too. Marshall added. This guy has to pay for what he did. Rubble said. Didn't you say this guy is an arms dealer too? Yeah. He has more firepower than we'll ever have. Chase said. Come on into the warehouse. What's this guy's name? Mr. Sanchez. He's about an hour northwest. Oh, that guy. I'll tell you what. He's my biggest rival. You aren't spies, are you? No, all the pups said in unison. Alright, well, I'll make a deal with you. I'll give you all the guns and ammo you need if you take him out. You'll be doing my dirty work in return for everything you need. So, you're going to be using us? Marshall asked. Yeah. It's a deal. He'll be gone before long, Chase said. Mr. What, but you can just call me JJ. JJ What said as he shook Chase's paw. Wait, what? That's JJ What. What's he doing as a gun dealer in Canada? First Fred Savage, now him? Ugh, back to the point. Chase. Good to do business with you. Standing on two legs, Chase wasn't much higher than JJ Watt's knees. He led the pups to the warehouse full of guns and ammo. What are you pups going to need? That's a lot of stuff. What don't you have? JJ Watt helped the pups out. He found 2 mountable missile cannons. He grabbed them and walked out to Sky's helicopter. Boom, you now have an attack chopper. After a few hours of figuring out waddle work, the pups had everything they needed. They packed all the arms into the back of Rocky's truck. The truck's payload was getting exceeded so much that the rear leaf springs were resting on the bump stop. I don't think my truck likes this. Come on, let's get going back to Adventure Bay. JJ What waved as the pups left. I really hope they take him down. That's a lot of money lost if they don't. The pups got back to the lookout and set everything up. That's when they realized they went overkill. There were mounted miniguns on the forklift on the Rocky's truck. Sky's helicopter was now a gunship. Marshall's water cannon had been converted to a machine gun, and each pup had 2 assault rifle mount brackets on their pup packs. Out of nowhere, they heard gunshots in Adventure Bay. They hurried into town, forgetting about all the weaponry on their vehicles. What happened? Chase asked. Joey had gotten grazed in the shoulder and there were 2 dead guys on the ground. These guys tried to attack me. Luckily I had my, what, why? Joey saw the weaponry on the trucks. We're avenging Ryder. We had the right contacts, we have all the info. Tomorrow, we're attacking, Chase said. No. Don't do it. Not even I'm willing to do that. Ryder didn't mean as much to you as he did to us. You didn't even know him. Pups, you have that wrong. There's a reason you went with me rather than someone in Adventure Bay. You pups got handed to me. Mayor Goodway pawned us off? No. I inherited you pups. That's why I'm so scared to lose you. How did you inherit us? I didn't tell you this earlier. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. I'm Ryder's father. All the pups went into shock. How have we not met you? Ryder never said anything about you. You were in his will to be handed down to me. I didn't even know I'd be taking in 6 pups until the day before Ryder's funeral. We didn't see you at his funeral. I was there. I just didn't speak. I don't know why I didn't tell you earlier. You want to avenge your son, don't you? Yeah, but attacking an arms dealer is a really dumb idea. We're willing to die to avenge Ryder. Once this is over, we won't have a reason to live anyway. In his will, Ryder said to take care of you pups. Letting you do this is not taking care of you. Letting us suffer isn't taking care of us either. You can come with us if it makes you feel better, but we're doing this. Are you sure you want to do this? Nothing can stop us at this point. I'm afraid I'm not willing to get involved. I'm going to have to break the promise I gave Ryder and not watch over you. Joey walked to his Roadrunner and drove off. Every pup but Chase started to feel for Joey. They could each understand how he felt. Sky started to feel selfish. I feel bad for Joey, Sky said. I do too, and if we come out alive, we'll be there for him, Chase said. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chase. I don't think any of us are coming out alive, Rocky said. Weary fighting twained gun experts. Weary not twained, Zuma said. Where'd the confidence go? Chase asked. Weary fighting twained gun experts. Weary not twained, Zuma said. I feel like this is a mistake, Rubble said. We're just going to have to accept the fact that Ryder is gone and cope. Doing this won't help anything, Marshall said. Chase was starting to get angered and feel betrayed. Ryder was more important to us than anything else. We're just going to give up on this. All the pups somewhat turned their backs. After all we've done to get here, you're just going to give up. What about Everest? What about us? They're going to kill us either way. If they kill us, so be it. We'll be with Ryder, Rocky said. Chase was in disbelief, but he wasn't going to stretch. He had everything he needed in his truck, so he was going to go without the rest. So be it then. I'm going alone. I'm not going to abandon what I started and worked hard for. Chase got in his truck and headed to the compound to take on this challenge, alone. Chase. Don't do this. There's another way out. The pups tried to discourage him, but it didn't work. They each got in their trucks to head to the lookout and dismount the weaponry from the trucks and their pup packs. Someone watch calls coming in and news to see when it's safe to get his body, Sky said. All the pups but Rocky headed to the lookout. Rocky wasn't going to abandon a friend. That's not what being a Paw Patrol pup is about. I'm going with him. I'm not going to let him go out and die by himself. Rocky did and U-turn and gunned it. Rocky. Not you too. If he's going, I'm going too. I'd rather keep my dignity than my life. The other pups couldn't believe it. Still, they all headed to the lookout. However, now Marshall wasn't willing to abandon this. Those are two of my closest friends going on a suicide mission. I'm not going to leave them behind either. Marshall pulled the e-brake and went to catch up to Chase and Rocky. Marshall! Zuma yelled. The three remaining pups just looked at each other. Let's just catch up to Joey. Chase, wait up, Rocky said. You can't stop me from doing this, Chase said. I know I can't, so I'm going in with you. You finally came to your senses. So did I, Marshall said, coming from nowhere. Still nothing from the other three? Chase asked. I think they bailed. To Chase and Rocky. Think again, Sky said. Zuma and Rubble also came in behind them. Chase was proud of the Paw Patrol again. Ryder would be proud. They found a vantage point not far from the compound, but far enough to where the helicopter wasn't noticeable. What's the game plan, Chase? Marshall asked. I need to scope the place first, Chase said. You have your spy helmet. Let's check it out, Rocky said. The pups approached the base in silence. There was a large hill right behind the compound that could be used as an advantage. There was a large, almost impenetrable chain-link fence surrounding the compound, so the only way in was through the front. However, an aerial attack was easy. What do you see, Chase? Rubble asked. A bunch of LAPs, light armored patrol vehicles, all of which aren't in use. However, there's a few guards next to one. There's a few snipers, inattentive, yet on call. Turrets on either side, a guard picking his nose, a couple of guards at the front with assault rifles. Honestly, this won't be that hard if we plan right. Besides that RPG, an aerial attack will be easy. Back to the vantage point. I have a plan. The pups headed back to where they parked their trucks, and Chase discussed his plan. Rubble and Zuma went to the hill with sniper rifles. Once they take out necessary guards, Sky would come in with her helicopter, take out a few laps, then Rocky would come in with his truck with the guns on the forklift prongs, while Marshall and Chase would be in the back ready to jump out. Once inside, everything will be impromptu.
Hey you, look kinda grim today. Pull through, there will be a brighter day. So hold your head up high and breathe in deep.
I know there's something heavy on your mind. Control is something you will never find. Hold
Rocky and Sky got in position while Rubble and Zuma scoped everything out, literally. They took out the opposing snipers and the RPG, making it safe for Sky while not alerting anyone. Sky flew in, and quickly was heard. Mr. Sanchez asked a guard what it was. It looks like one of those Paw Patrol mutts are coming in and, oh. What? Does the helicopter that girl pup flies usually have guns on it? What are you talking about? They suddenly heard an explosion from Sky firing a rocket and the compound. Mr. Sanchez immediately sounded the alarm and prepared for battle. Yeah. Take that. Rubble yelled. I'm going to circle back around and fire a few more rockets, then the coast is clear. Sky shot out a few more guards and laps just in case they decided to use those. That's your cue, Rocky. Chase said. Rocky gunned it and bashed through the front gates. Using a simple switch, he was able to fire the miniguns mounted on his truck and take out all the guards in his path. We're in, Sky, no more rockets, Rocky said. Got it, switching to guns. Rocky realized he missed a few guards and was receiving fire. Hold on back there. Rocky warned Chase and Marshall. He pulled the e-brake and shot all around him as the truck spun. He slammed the brakes to stop the momentum, then gunned it again. He realized there were more guards coming out of the compound. Open the door, let us fire. Chase said. Rocky opened the door and Chase and Marshall were able to start shooting. Marshall couldn't aim. The recoil from the rifle was knocking him down. Rocky pulled the e-brake again to face the guards head-on. Chase, however, fell out. Rocky. Turn back. Chase fell out back here. Don't worry about it, I got this. Chase said. Chase ran into the compound and took cover under an LAPV. He was able to shoot and not be discovered. The recoil from the rifle was starting to hurt his back. Although the pup pack was taking all the shock, his back was getting awkwardly bent. Zuma, Rubble move in toward up to the compound. Chase commanded. Zuma and Rubble followed the orders and moved into the compound. Zuma and Rubble switched from the AW sniper rifles to the M4S on their pup packs. They snuck into the compound unnoticed. They ducked behind a couple of crates. No one in the compound was firing, but they were all on alert, and some heading in front of the compound to try to take out the other pups. What do we do now? We don't want them knowing we're here, Rubble said. I thought you had a plan, Zuma said. Rubble radioed Chase, what exactly do we do when we get in? We don't have the firepower these guys do. I'm about to head in there. Be as stealthy as possible. Rubble didn't like that idea. He wasn't exactly the stealthy type. Thankfully, Zuma had confidence. I got this, Wubble. Don't worry. Just follow me. Zuma snuck around all the crates and made sure Rubble followed. They were never detected. Chase maneuvered around and under the laps while firing at all the guards. None of the guards had time to figure out where he was, and the few that couldn't get an aim on him. That turned all the guards by Zuma and Rubble towards the front of the compound. The two were able to fire on all the guards. Mr. Sanchez's crew was now fighting a two-front war. There was some bad news for Sky, however. Pups? Someone has a guided missile launcher. Get out of there, Sky. Go to safety. Chase yelled. Sky saw the guard fire the missile. She was able to dodge it, but it came back around. She had to think fast. She saw an opening in the compound that looked big enough for her helicopter. Coincidentally, it's the same place the guard firing the missiles is standing. She went full speed ahead with the missile coming up on her fast. She panicked, but she was fast enough, and her plan was coming together. She hauled right into the opening with the missile trailing her. The missile hit a beam, and blew up the guard along with a handful of other missiles, causing a bigger explosion than she expected. She almost got caught into the explosion, but she was able to go through the compound to the other side. However, the explosion pushed her helicopter out with more force than she wanted, and caused her to go into a spin. After a few seconds of thinking she was going to crash, she gained control. "Sky. Please tell me you're okay." "I've never been better. I'm good up here." That worried me. Rocky and Marshall were on PAW and taking out guards. They headed into the compound. Mr. Sanchez was spectating the fight from his office. He knew his guards were getting lit up. Not even a single casualty on the pups. He was about to call in mercenaries, but he instead intercepted the pups' radio signal in hope to get them to cooperate. "Very clever. I see you're making your way through. I told you we were gonna retaliate hard. We're all alive and we've almost cleared this place," Chase said. "Not sure what kind of novice you take me for. I can send more guys in with the click of a button. This isn't even a fraction of my army. Not sure what kind of cowards you take us for. We're not scared. At this rate, we'll finish you in no time." "Well, you pups are too clever to have to keep dealing with. My army will go try hard to take you down. I am willing to make a deal, however." "No more deals. We will end this today." Sky jumped in. "Wait, what deal are you willing to make?" Marshall asked. "Marshall. We're not gonna make deals," Chase said. "I have mercenaries coming in right now. They're going to overwhelm you. I guarantee it. They will give you hell, then force you to surrender. Those of you who survive will be tortured. If you don't want that happening, you either run for your lives right now, and don't stop until you know we won't follow you, or surrender and have painless deaths." "That'll never happen," Rocky said. "We'll fight to the death," Chase said. "Suit yourselves," Chase said. Mr. Sanchez called in his reinforcements. That's where Chase was wrong. He's bluffing. He doesn't have backup. This is all he has, Chase said. "There's nothing for me to do up here, I'm gonna land and go in," Sky said. Sky landed right as the reinforcements came in. She didn't realize it was too late. There were multiple mercenaries with RPGs. She thought she was about to die. Luckily, the mercenaries showed mercy. One mercenary talked through an intercom on a truck. "Keep the helicopter grounded or you will be shot down." She cooperated, not wanting to die. She called the rest of the pups. "They have me. They have RPGs and machine guns aimed at me." Oh. He wasn't bluffing, Chase said. "We'll be out to help," Zuma said. "No. There's more than you think." The pups were overconfident and ran right out to help Sky. As soon as they did, they immediately regretted it. There were way too many for 6 pups to kill. They heard Mr. Sanchez. "I told you my reinforcements would overwhelm you. We didn't even have to fire a shot. Your own idiocracy caused your imminent doom. How does it feel now? Your fate is just the same as your pathetic boys." There was mixed emotion throughout the pups. Chase had doubt in his mind that it was going to end this way. Rocky was thinking of a way to get out. Zuma started feeling the regret knowing he lost. Rubble was so scared he was about to die. Marshall felt remorse, and Sky knew she was about to join Ryder, so she wasn't too panicked. The mercenaries eventually backed the pups into a wall. The pups realized they were trapped and it was about to end. Mr. Sanchez was on his way out. "What do you say, Mr. Sanchez? Drop them one by one?" "Nah, we're gonna torture them. They're not worthy of a quick death. I gave them the choice. This is it. This is the end." Zuma panicked. "We're all about to die a slow, painful death." Rubble cried. "This can't be. This can't be happening. It can't end this way." Marshall whined. Rocky, Chase, and Sky stayed silent. Chase realized Rocky was on the same track as him and whispered into his ear. "There's no way out. Our deaths are imminent, but we can save the others. We both have all the firepower in our pup packs. We'll tell them to get down, then we shoot until we are absolutely dead." Rocky liked the idea but had doubts. What if we fail? They'll take the heat out on them. All we have to do is clear a big enough hole in this army, and they can. Hey! No talking amongst each other. This is the end. You had your chances. Rocky and Chase looked at each other with uncertainty, but they both were willing to do it. They both built up the nerve and became ready. "The four of you get down," Chase yelled. Rocky and Chase both pulled out what they needed to use to take these guys out and immediately fired. They ran into the crowd of mercenaries, causing them to shoot each other. They couldn't believe the plan worked. The four others joined. Out of nowhere came 5 trucks and a muscle car and joined into the lighting up of the mercenaries. Chase and Rocky hadn't gotten hit yet, leaving both wondering if this really just happened. With the help of the other 4 pups and 5.50 cal turrets, Chase and Rocky completed their mission with success. They looked up and realized who came in at just the right time. "Joey," all the pups yelled. "Wow. I guess I came just in time." JJ What came in as well. JJ What? You saved us. Mr. Sanchez was watching this from the inside of the compound. What just happened? Well, that backfired. JJ What was happy to help. It's a good thing Joey found me when he did. Rocky and Chase are the real heroes. Rubble pointed out. The 4 of the pups praised Rocky and Chase. "I thought that was gonna be the last thing we did," Chase said. Rocky, Marshall said. Everyone noticed Rocky had gotten shot in the shoulder, but with the adrenaline rushing he didn't feel it. Rocky noticed he was suddenly the center of attention. "What? You, got hit." "What?" Rocky looked to his right at his shoulder. Oh. Arg. Rocky suddenly felt the pain now that he knew what happened. "Why would you tell me? I didn't feel it until you said something." "I'm sorry. I thought you should know. This isn't over. There's still guys in the warehouse, and there's still Mr. Sanchez," Chase said. "And there's still reinforcements," Mr. Sanchez said out of nowhere. They heard a bunch of M35 Deuce and a half trucks coming in. JJ What took charge. "Joey and all you pups. Go into the compound and finish the job. Make sure you patch him up. My crew man the trucks and laps." The pups rushed into the compound, and Joey carried Rocky. Rocky wanted to walk on his own, but Joey wouldn't let him. Meanwhile, all of Mr. Sanchez's crew was debating on whether they even wanted to keep fighting for him. There were some that were staying loyal, but the rest either hated his guts from the start or didn't want to lose the battle. Marshall patched Rocky, and the rest of the pups went through to liberate the compound. Sky was flying around when a sniper shot out her engines. She realized she was losing speed and lift. She started falling and was scared she was going to fall to her death. Then, someone caught her. She opened her eyes and realized it was one of Mr. Sanchez's men and started panicking. "No, pup. Don't worry. I'm not gonna hurt you. The guy started petting her to comfort her. She realized she wasn't about to die. You're not gonna hurt me? You're just a pup. Sanchez is heartless. I hated his guts from the start. Let's get you back to safety. Sky. Are you okay? Joey asked. Yeah, I'm just fine. Someone caught me. They both saw Joey hiding behind a crate. They were up on a catwalk. Hey. Whatever your name is. Joey looked back and immediately aimed his gun at the guy. Joey. Wait. He's friendly. Sky said. I have your pup. I just wanted to return her. She's the sweetest thing ever. Well, I definitely do appreciate that. I don't know how to get down there. Joey got under them. I'll catch you, Sky. Just drop her. Sky and the guy didn't like that idea. Trust me. The guy dropped Sky and Joey caught her. Thanks again. No problem. I'm gonna find my way down. A few minutes later, the pups and a few guards were in combat. The guy came up to the guards and told them that they could switch sides with no punishment. Eventually, every guard left turned on Mr. Sanchez. The only people on Mr. Sanchez's side were the mercenaries, getting lit up. Mr. Sanchez realized that and tried to rush to the rear exit. This went all wrong. Those pups are clever. Good thing I have C4 on every corner of the building. Click of this switch, and boom goes the compound. Those pups and the traitors will. Chase eventually came upon Mr. Sanchez. He was out lone wolf, while the others were getting peace treaties. Not so fast. We didn't forget about you. Mr. Sanchez was unintimidated. You and what army? No one. Just you and me. Chase barked for the M4, and Karma. So what, you're gonna kill me now? I'll make sure this building goes up in smoke. Chase tried to fire the M4, but realized he was out of ammo. Oh. Huh. Things are starting to go my way again. Mr. Sanchez pulled out a 3-foot-long sword. Mistake to mess with me. Mr. Sanchez ran at Chase at full speed. Chase knew that sword was about to go through his body and pin him to the wall. He braced for it, but just before it happened, he heard a loud bang. A really loud bang. When he looked over, he was completely shocked. It was Mayor Humdinger with a .44 in hand. Mayor Humdinger. If anyone's going to ruin your life, it's gonna be me. I got your back, pup. The pups and Joey ran over to the rear entrance, scared about the bang. They saw Mayor Humdinger with the .44, Chase unharmed, and Mr. Sanchez laying motionless on the ground. Mayor Humdinger just saved my life. Chase said. Don't mention it. It's the least I can do. Everyone, the pups, Joey, JJ Watt, his crew, and the guys who switched sides all celebrated. We did it. He's dead. Chase was happy Mr. Sanchez was dead, but wished he could have been the one to end it. You and Mayor Humdinger did it. Sky said, you accomplished the goal. Good job, dude. Zuma said. Rocky tackled Chase as a celebration. The two got closer in the last week than they ever had in the last few years. Rocky yelped when he hit the ground, forgetting he had gotten shot. Don't give me any of the glory, Mayor Humdinger said, this just makes up for what I did. What did you do? Joey asked. This was the first time Joey and Mayor Humdinger talked to each other. Mayor Humdinger had no idea who Joey was. I'm technically who's responsible for Ryder's death. Sanchez interrogated me about nearby obstacles after I did a favor. I mentioned the PAW Patrol, but I had no idea he was going to do what he did. Joey now, rather than praising him for saving Chase and finishing the job, resented Mayor Humdinger. It was your fault. Joey felt the mission wasn't over. Tell me why I shouldn't clip you right now. Mayor Humdinger didn't expect that reaction. Whoa. Who are you? I'm Ryder's father. My whole mission was to avenge my son and protect these pups. Joey pulled the hammer back on the same .44 Mayor Humdinger used to kill Mr. Sanchez. Joey. Don't do this. You don't have to. He did nothing wrong, the pups cried. JJ Watt and his crew just watched in confusion. Out of the corner of his eye, Joey could see Mr. Sanchez move his arm. He knew he was about to blow the building to pieces. There was a guard with a 12 gauge, so Joey quickly reacted, stole it, then delivered a slug to Mr. Sanchez's skull. The pups all covered their eyes. He stood and realized he was able to end it himself. All right, you're spared, Joey said to Mayor Humdinger. The guy that helped Sky out went up to JJ Watt to join his side. At your service, Mr. Watt. Wait, you're not my crew? I was a slave to Sanchez, but now that he's finally dead, I'm free, but I also need something else to do. Well, welcome aboard. I'm sure you already thought about it, but feel free to take the compound and all the weapons in it. Yeah, I declared this place mine the minute we breached this place. Joey and the pups didn't know what to do now that Mr. Sanchez had been taken out. Hey, thanks for finding me. I'm more than happy to help, and I was able to take out my main rival, JJ Watt said. Thanks for helping out. Without you, me and the pups could have been lined in chalk, Joey said. What are you gonna do now? The pups jumped in. The 6 of us are still alive. You can succeed your son. Adventure Bay could use the Paw Patrol. Joey gave some thought to the pups' suggestions. You know what? I like that idea. Pack your bags, pups. We're going back to Adventure Bay. The pups all celebrated and hugged each other and Joey. Well, if you have any major problems, I'm always here, JJ Watt said. Just yelp for help, Joey said. The pups looked at Joey in disapproval. No? Don't carry on the tradition? Mind if we take one of those laps home? Yeah, go ahead. Joey and the pups loaded all the vehicles onto a trailer and towed it with the LAPV back to Adventure Bay. Joey grabbed his Suburban and brought all the pups' stuff back to the lookout. He was happy to know he kept his promise to his son and now succeeded him. The Paw Patrol is now back in working order.
Woo! Wir haben es endlich geschafft. Bitte haben wir schon geschafft. Ich denke, bei der Retaliation war schon ein paar Fehler gekommen, wie ich gestartet habe, dass es irgendwie gestoppt hat und dann habe ich manchmal da einen Fehler gemacht habe und auch mit dem Bilder zu wechseln war es auch den Fehler auch reingekommen, aber ja, wir haben ihn trotzdem geschafft. Zum Glück nochmal eine ganze Geschichte fertig gemacht. Wie ihr es gesehen, wenn ihr es noch nicht ganz bemerkt habt beim Anfang, dieses Bild hier. Ihr seht, was wird bald rauskommen, bald live werden, ist The Blood Moon Masquerade, the full story of PAW Patrol Creepypast. Das Datum ist noch leider unbekannt, weil ich muss noch schauen wegen mit dem Testen wieder, wegen ihr weißt noch, wo habe ich vielmal vieles gemacht mit diesem Geschichte. Dort sind einfach viele Fehler einfach gekommen, dass es irgendwo einfach gestoppt hat. Und ich musste manchmal das da benutzen. Ich musste manchmal so diesen Ding hier benutzen. Das da war ein Problem. Aber ja, zum Glück haben wir es geschafft. Noch diese Geschichte. Ja, diese Geschichte musste ich zweimal unterbrechen. Ja, zweimal unterbrechen musste ich. Aber ja, dritter Versuch hat funktioniert. Zum Glück haben wir es geschafft, nochmal eine Geschichte fertig zu machen. Update noch dazu. Wegen den Blood Moon Massacre. Ich werde vielleicht noch einen Test machen, live. Und wenn ihr wollt den Test mal anhören, ihr könnt einfach reinkommen, weil es wird frei reinzukommen. Es wird veröffentlicht bleiben. Und wenn der Test gut gegangen ist, das sagt, oder wenn es vielleicht irgendwo nicht gut gegangen ist, dann muss ich nochmal ein anderes Mal nochmal einen Test machen, ob es angeht. Und dann könnten wir dann mal endlich den Blood Moon Massacre machen. Und mit dem Blood Moon Massacre wird der Soundeffekt reinkommen. Und der Soundeffekt, was ich meine, ihr weißt was ich genau am meinen bin. Und hoffentlich wird da kein einziger Fehler kommen. Weil wenn er hätte da ein Fehler gekommen, wäre er leider schade gewesen, wenn da ein Fehler gekommen hätte. Aber wir werden schauen. Ja, das war's für Leistung gewesen, Leute. Heute hat es die Leistung Spaß gemacht. Wenn es auch Spaß gemacht hat, dann lasst ein Like dort. Abonniert meinen Kanal. Aktiviert die Glocke und auf alles, dass ihr keine einzige Leistung und auch notifiziert sind. Lasst einen Kommentar unten und folgt meinen sozialen Medien, wenn ihr auf meinen Kanal geht, und dann seht ihr dort zu meinen sozialen Medien. Und ja, das ist alles für mich heute und hat euch Spaß gemacht da und wir sehen uns im nächsten Livestream. Bye!